Now it's my pleasure to welcome to the show Tony nominee Cady Huffman, nominated as Outstanding Featured Actress in a Musical for her performance in Tommy Tune's latest, The Will Rogers Follies, which recently opened at the Palace Theater. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
You must be having a ball.
I'm having a terrific time, truly the time of my life.
Well, it's great. I mean, you open right at the end of the season. I think, in fact, the last official day of the season as far as the Tony Awards are concerned. The following Monday, the show is nominated for 11 Tony Awards.
Right.
You've got your first nomination, which is pretty neat. And the show has already won the Drama Desk Award for Best Musical. So with all of that happening simultaneously, it's like, how do you come down from cloud nine?
Exactly. You kind of have to take advantage of it now, because this type of thing does not happen every day, every few weeks in your life. You know, so.
That'd be a bit too much excitement, I think, for anyone. I don't know if anyone could take that much excitement. How'd you hear about the Tony nomination? Who'd you hear from?
My agent called me. They were getting it as they were being announced at Sardi's, and as soon as he heard my name, he called me, and I wasn't home. So I'm getting messages, Cady, call me, Cady, call me, Cady, call me. And finally I got, he says, congratulations. I said, for what? Oh, come on. Congratulations. I'm like, oh.
So you were legitimately surprised. I mean, it wasn't like you were sitting there going, I'm going to get one.
Oh,
no,
well, you know, I mean, this is the first time I've ever even been in the position to be, you know, eligible for it. So, you know, it's...
Well, a lot of people are probably not that familiar with you. I mean, they would think Cady Huffman, new kid on the block, new face, but you've been around for a while.
Yeah.
In fact, this is your second trip to the Palace Theater. You were there in La Cage aux Folles. And you were in Bob Fosse's last musical, Big Deal.
Right.
Which is, I still love looking at the clip from the Tony Awards with that number, which was, I mean, that was Fosse.
Yeah, Beat Me Daddy A to the Bar. Yeah, that was incredible.
That was classic Fosse.
That was incredible.
So you've really had a wonderful opportunity to work with some extraordinarily gifted choreographers.
Yes, I've been very fortunate that way. Of course, working with Bob Fosse was, as a dancer, my ultimate at that time. That was my goal, and ever since I was 14, I saw dance and I saw all that jazz. It was the man to work with, and I was so fortunate to get in and work with and actually do it.
Well, Tommy's style, of course, is an entirely different thing.
Very different. And then after Big Deal and I saw Grand Hotel, I said, Tommy Tune's the next one I want to work with. And here I am. Yeah, very different style.
Grand Hotel is extraordinary. I mean, it's one of the most brilliantly staged musicals in years. And he's done some wonderful work on this show also, some incredibly clever work.
I think so.
It's a very different show. I mean, who knew? Who knew what this was going to be? I remember last year talking with Liliane Montevecchi saying, oh, Tommy, he's working on this fabulous new show, it's the Follies, and I was going, oh, okay, fine. I had no idea what to expect. This is a real crowd pleaser.
Yeah, no, I don't think no one knew what to expect. I mean, no one had even heard of it till about a week ago. You know, it was a real sleeper this season, I think. You know, I was telling people I was rehearsing this thing, and they're like, yeah? Well, so what's that? I said, well, it's going to be the next big hit. They're like, yeah, right, with the other shows that were opening at the time. I said, you just wait and see, and we all had real faith in it. And it was just great. From the very beginning, the whole cast was real unified and excited about the project, and now everyone else is too.
We should explain briefly the premise of the show and how you fit into that premise.
That's always a very good question.
Yeah.
The show is Will Rogers' life from birth to death.
Right.
And it's done with a Follies format with 16 beautiful showgirls, and introduces his wife and his father and how they affect his life and his 4 children. And what I do, I guess I'm Flo Ziegfeld's girlfriend, and I'm kind of the...
Your character's actually named Ziegfeld's favorite.
Right, yes. No real name. What one critic called me was a continuity joke, and I thought that was pretty good.
Oh,
describing what I do. I bring in a lot of information. Postcards and telegrams, signs. Just... yeah.
Walk across the stage, smile.
Exactly. We do lots of interesting things. We wear rockets and...
Well, Willa Kim's clothes on this show are just
incredible, huh?
breathtaking.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, it's incredible. And of course, she's working with girls that are just so beautiful. How can you make them look bad? And she's just made, oh, it's just incredible. It's just great. When I remember going to my first fitting, and they're draping this robe on me that I wear in the show, and I almost started to cry. It was so exciting and beautiful. It really made me feel the part, made me just feel.
Well, that's what a good designer does.
Yeah, it's just great, yeah.
A show like this, I mean, because of the economics of theater at this time, most shows cannot go out of town. So you can't work your kinks out in private, you know, on the road. You guys opened cold in New York, previewed,
right,
with everyone kind of staring down your throat, as many shows recently have had to do. But this show, like many new musicals, went through a tremendous amount of changes during its preview period.
It did,
correct?
and we also had 4 weeks of workshop in December, where it was just getting things together and putting together, and then we had, I think, 8 more weeks of rehearsal, and then a month of previews. And yeah, when previews came up, we went through a lot of changes. Mostly just tightening things. The essential show stayed the same. Just, I think there was one number that eventually got cut, but yeah, it was amazing to watch too. So
it was cutting and polishing rather than like major revisions, because you hear so many stories, you know.
Right, right. There were, I don't know what you would call major revisions. You know, there was nothing huge happened. Just a lot of refining, and it was great to watch Tommy do it, because for him to have any kind of perspective after he's been working on something for so long, and every change he made, he really did make it better.
Yeah.
And it was just incredible to see him do that.
Well, he has extraordinary instincts that way.
Yeah.
Speaking of rehearsal, you know, and all of that, as we were talking about before we went on the air, there was an item at one point, while you were still in previews, I think shortly before the opening, how the cast was being worked to death and they were all disgruntled and furious with Tommy. And then there was another item in the paper today, in Newsday, talking about how the associate choreographer was upset because he had done all the work and he wasn't getting the credit. How do you guys feel? Is this a close-knit company?
It's a very close-knit company. It's the only company I've ever worked in where really everyone got along. There are 16 girls in the ensemble, and there's not one rivalry. If there's any kind of, you know, there's always going to be some little fights here and there, but it's not even fights. Everyone is perfectly willing to go, I'm sorry, you know, I really, you know, I don't know what came over me. Well, while we all are real tight, we all get in a circle before we start, and there's been none of, you know, there's just been none of that stuff.
So how does the company feel when they read something like that, which they know isn't true?
I think we all get a little bit angry, you know, because someone is lying about us, you know. Someone is flat out lying, and I don't take it too seriously, though. I mean, it's one small article, you know.
And any publicity is good publicity.
Right, you know, it's all controversy.
We'll take it wherever we can get it. Thank you for joining us, Cady Huffman.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck on the Tonys, June 2nd. Have a good time. Don't be too tense.
Oh, I'll try not to.
Okay.